Josh, let's kick off with Thursday's iNews, and Labour MPs face their worst enemy, Labour voters.
Yes, I know, you don't want to mess with them. Labour MPs concerned for their own safety ahead of crunch Gaza vote. So this is obviously actually the votes now happened.
Yes.
And it went through unanimously. But this is a worrisome story because you really shouldn't have our elected representatives being fearful of the general public, which is what's happening here with the pro-Palestinian activists. And there's been a lot of incidents, including Mike Freer, who's now stepping down for suspected arson of his offices. But not just that. A London Borough Council recently had to be evacuated after pro-Palestine protesters. These are not healthy signs of a healthy democracy. There's a new Labour MP for Kingswood. It turns out his husband is Israeli, or was born in Israel, and had served in the IDF a couple of decades ago. They've been offered extra security after receiving threats. So all of this together is, as I said, I wouldn't say necessarily scared. Well, they're saying they're scared. They're scared, but it's also the impact that you're going to have on their votes. Because what one Labour MP says is how this sort of, she talks about, or he talks about, a coordinated harassment of colleagues, making them very concerned how things escalate, and then talks about the vote and says, I won't be voting in a certain way, and links those two together. It's like, well, are you saying that you're not going to vote for that because of this influence?
This is scary, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, Cressida, we've had this before. It's a bit of a fine line, isn't there? I've heard politicians complaining unjustly, people jeering at them on the street or something, or, saying nasty things online. Well, we all get that, don't we? And if you're in a position of political power, you're going to get protesters making a noise around you. But there is a distinction between that and threats and harassment, where people are afraid to actually vote the way they want to vote. And, of course, it's quite important, isn't it, for a democracy that, for instance, the surgery system works, so you can go and see your politician. Yeah. Your MP needs to be accessible. But with this kind of thing, that's not going to happen, is it? Well,
no, it's practically over, isn't it? I wouldn't want to be an MP now, and it's great that they're offering more protection, but it's not enough, is it? I mean, it's like it's already gone too far. At this point, when you're making the decision to become an MP, you already know that this is it's paralysing, I think. And as you said, we need to be able to go and see our GPs. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Our MPs. We need to have surgeries. And if that's not possible, I mean, we're always hearing this phrase, it's a threat to democracy. This really is a threat to democracy.
So why is this happening, Josh? Because,
It's because they're nutters.
Well, we're talking about a specific group of protesters here, aren't we?
Yeah,
who don't seem to think that threats of violence are a problem because they have this,
far-left cranks and Islamists who are predominantly making up the pro-Palestine movement. They were out today in front of Parliament. They egged one of our presenters, Marta Daubney. They also, Patrick Christie's was interviewing some of them, and they were just coming out with blatant anti-Semitic conspiracy theories like Israel controls the UK and just ridiculous stuff.
So why is it happen particularly on the far left? Why is there this idea that they are so self-righteous that they can threaten people, commit acts of violence?
Well,
if only I'd read a book about it that talked about the hypocrisy of the far left and how they then become the fascists.
Well,
if someone should write a book,
someone should, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to call it.
Are you? I've got something you could read first. Give you some ideas.
Very depressing stuff. OK, we're going to move on.